Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So this is probably my most fun tutorial that I have ever done on my channel. And I say that because it's very helpful for one. Like this is very, very helpful for those of you who are beginning in makeup and you don't know where to start, how to blend, or just what shades to choose in an eyeshadow palette. So today I'm going to be showing you 5 different looks using a neutral palette. And I decided to do a neutral palette because I feel like everybody has that one neutral palette in their collection, whether it's drugstore, whether it's high-end. I feel like a lot of people have a neutral palette in their collection. So I had a lot of you guys' help for today's palette. I asked you guys on my Twitter and I also asked you guys on my Instagram, what was that one eyeshadow palette that you feel like pretty much everybody has, or not just everybody, but because honestly everybody probably don't have this palette, but that one neutral palette that is your favorite, that is your go-to, that you always use, or that you feel like a lot of people already have. And a lot of you on my Twitter and also on my Instagram, like I added all of your responses together, and the most responses I got were the ABH Soft Glam palette. So I have it right here and I'm gonna show you guys 5 different looks using this one palette. I know I've already done a tutorial using this palette in the past when it first came out, but this video is more so to help you guys. So if you don't know what looks to go for with your neutral palettes, or if you're needing help with certain shades or how to blend, this video, hopefully, fingers crossed, is gonna help at least one of you guys that is watching this video. So I'm excited. I put together all 5 of my favorite types of looks. Some of them I have not even shown you guys how I create, because I do have some looks that I wear in my videos that I have not filmed a tutorial for. So you guys will see a couple of those looks in today's video, and you're also gonna see some of my personal favorites that you probably already seen in tutorials. But like I said, this video is more so to help those of you who have that neutral palette in your collection and you don't know what look to go for, or what look would be good as an everyday look, or just pretty much what colors to use together, and etc. So if you have a neutral eyeshadow palette, it does not necessarily have to be the Soft Glam palette by ABH, but if you have a neutral palette that has similar shades, or just any palette in general, like it does not have to be, it honestly doesn't even have to be a neutral palette, but if you have a palette that you feel like the shades in that palette are your go-to favorite shades, or just shades that you feel like will be a good everyday color, then you can definitely create the looks that I'm showing you guys with those looks. So me personally, when it comes down to neutral eyeshadow palettes, I really prefer my palette to have a black shade in it. So if you have this palette, or if you have any other palette that has neutral shades with a black shadow inside it, then you are good to go with that one palette. You don't have to go out and buy 60, 50, 20, 30, 100 different other palettes just to create the looks that I'm going to show you guys in today's video. So I am freaking excited. I feel like I said excited 50 million times, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so this first look is going to be my all-time favorite look out of all the looks I ever do on my channel, which is a one shadow look. I feel like one shadow looks are so easy, they're so quick, and they pretty much go with everything depending on what color you use. So the one shade that I want to dip into, I first want to say all of the mattes in here I can use as a one shadow look except for 2. And those 2 are, we have Orange Soda and Tempera. So these 2 right here, these are definitely too light for me to use as a one shadow look. Well, on me, it's too light. Burnt Orange, this shade right here, is a little too light as well, but it is doable. But all the other mattes in here are so pretty as a one shade look. So the shade I'm gonna go in, which is one of my favorites, is called Sienna, this color right here. And I'm gonna take my Morphe M504 brush and I'm just gonna dip it into Sienna. One thing about this palette, there is a good bit of fallout, so I'm just gonna tap it. And the way I do all of my one shadow looks is I just take the brush and just tap it on my lid like this. And I make sure to put all of that color on the lid. Like I don't go in and just start blending right away. First, I like to tap it all over the lid like this. And then what I do is I'll take a napkin. This one's dirty because I had to start over earlier. But I'll take a napkin and I'll just wipe most of that product off. And I'll go back into the crease. And I'll just start blending into the crease. So that way, most of that product won't be built up into the crease because you have a lot of the product on the lid. So I'm going to dip my brush back into it and put some more all over my lid. That. And then I'll take my napkin and kind of wipe off the brush. I usually use like a brush switcher, like one of those little foams, but I don't have one near me. But now I'm just going back into the crease and just blending that color into the crease like this. So I do this because I don't want so much of that color in the crease. Like I want it to look like it's fading up, so it can look really soft and diffused like that. And you can always go back into the color and just put more on your lid just to kind of build up that shade. And then kind of lightly dust it on your napkin or whatever you choose. And then go back into the crease and blend the crease, and then lightly start building it up towards the brow bone like that. That is it. See how simple, easy, and quick that is? Like, this look can go with anything. Depending on what color you choose, it can go with anything. You can do this color, you can do a brown, you can do a deeper shade like the shade Mulberry. You can do that. You can do a really soft, dusty rose like this color right here. It's so easy, y'all. And then this is how it looks once my lashes are on. You definitely don't have to wear lashes, but I choose to do so because I am filming some videos and I just like how the lashes just kind of bring out the look. But yes, this is my one shadow look. So easy, so quick, and definitely beginner friendly. Okay, so this next look is using two shades. So we're gonna be using a matte and we're also gonna be using a metallic shade. You guys know I really don't typically go for glitters or metallics on my channel, but this is one of my go-to looks if I am gonna be using a metallic or a shimmer on the lid. So the first thing that I dip into is going to be a matte shadow. So I'm going to dip into the shade Rustic, and this is a kind of like a brown taupey nude. So I'm going to take my Morphe M504 brush and dip that into the color right here, and I take it and lightly blend it into the crease like this. I just go back and forth, windshield wiper motions like this. And you can definitely build the color up. So I went back in and just added a little bit more of the layer onto that first layer. So we're just lightly blending it into the crease. And as I'm blending in the crease, I lightly bring it up towards my brow bone. So you can see it fade like that. So I don't necessarily have to wipe off my brush when doing this because I didn't really pick up a lot of that color. So that first look that we did, which is the one shadow look, I picked up a lot of the color on the brush. So that's why I went ahead and wiped the brush off as I was blending. But this time I'm slowly building up that color, so I really don't have to wipe off my brush. All right, so the next step is to go in with the metallic. Now, you can use whatever shade you want in this palette, but I personally like to use a shade that is pretty much the same color or close to the matte shadow. So Sultry is right above the shade that we use in our crease. So that's the color that I'm using today. You can use your finger, you can use your brush, whatever you choose. So me personally, I like to take my finger. And I do this first. So I'm going to show you guys what I do next after taking my finger. So I just place the shade right on my lid like this. All over the lid. See how it just goes with the crease color? So stinking pretty. So I just tap it all over my lid that. And then if I wanted to blend into that matte a little bit more, I'll take a brush. So I'm gonna take my Morphe M433. This is just a blending brush, but I'll take it, I'll tap it into that color, and then I'll just tap it all over my lid and also kind of bring it up into the crease. But I don't blend, I just tap it because it is kind of shimmery. So we're tapping it in the crease so that way it fades. You guys see that? It kind of fades into the matte color. If you want your metallics to show up more vibrant, you can wet your brush. I don't usually wet my brush when I'm doing a soft looks like these. I never really wet my brush. I just like it to look very soft, very subtle, but you still get that shine, like you still see that glow on the lid. So yeah, that is how I do my everyday soft, simple matte and metallic looks. And like I said, if you want to amp it up, if you want it to look more vibrant, if you want the metallic to show up even more, you can just wet your brush. But this is just a soft, simple, everyday look that I love. And then here we are with the lashes on. And the lashes that I wear are my Ardell Remy lashes in the style is 778. But I mean, you can throw on your mascara if you don't want to wear any lashes, but I like to wear my lashes because it definitely makes the look pop. And yeah, so that is my everyday neutral matte and shimmer look. All right, so now we're gonna go with 3 shades for this next look. And this is what I like to call my classic smoky eye look, but it's not too intense to where you can't wear it as an everyday look. So it's very soft, very subtle, but it's still smoky. So with that, we're gonna be dipping into the black shadow. And I know sometimes black shadows can be kind of intimidating to some because sometimes you can go overboard with black to where it makes it look like you have a black eye. So we're gonna go very soft with this look, and I think this is perfect, perfect, perfect for those of you who are just beginning with makeup and you're wanting that everyday smoky look, but it's not too intense. Now, even though I'm using 3 shades in this palette, including the black, you can definitely use any other shade that you want, but I'm just pretty much showing you guys the steps that I do to create my everyday smoky look. So the first shade that I'm going to dip into is Rustic, and this is the shade that I showed you in the last tutorial. And I'm going to take my Morphe M504. By the way, I'm just using the Morphe M504 and also the little Anastasia brush that comes in the palette. So these are the only 2 brushes that I'm using for this tutorial. So going into Rustic first, we're gonna place this color into the crease. So we're basically placing it just like we did in the last tutorial where we did the 2 shadows. So Rustic all in the crease and also kind of lightly blending it up towards the brow bone like that. All right, so this next color is gonna be shade number 2, and this is the shade that I feel like you can use any colors in this palette will work for this part. So I prefer to use something a little bit on the light side, so I'm gonna go into the shade Burnt Orange. This is another matte color, and I'm gonna take the Anastasia brush. I'm gonna take the fluffy side for this and dip it into Burnt Orange. And this is where I just place it right here on the lid like this and kind of lightly tap it into the inner part of my eye, my inner tear duct, however you want to call it, but just tap it like that. This is also really pretty if you use like a metallic right here instead of a matte color. But I personally like my mattes. So I'm just gonna lightly blend it and buff it into that first shade that we did. So I'm focusing most of the color right in this area, not all over the lid, just right here in the inner corner. All right, now time for the star of the show, which is the black shadow. So I'm gonna take the Anastasia brush again, and I'm just gonna flip it over to the short side. This is more dense. So I take a little bit of the black and I place this color right here on the outer part of my lid. So I'm pretty much just tapping it right there, and also kind of working it up like this. So I'm staying right in this area of the lid. All right, so the very last step is to blend, because now that we have our black on, it kind of looks a little splotchy. It's not blended. So I'm going to take the very first brush that I use, which is my Morphe M504, and I'm going to lightly tap it into that very first shade that we use, which is Rustic, right here. So this was our crease color. I'm going to lightly tap it in there, tap off, and then take it and kind of go right here where the black and burnt orange meets, and just kind of buff it into both of the shades. Now you can use a smaller brush for this. I just chose to use my Morphe brush because I honestly don't like to switch out too many brushes when I'm doing my eye looks. But see how that looks more put together, more blended? So yeah. And then we're gonna dip into Rustic one more time, and we're gonna lightly take it into the crease. So where the black is, kind of lightly buff over it, and then just lightly blend it into the crease. So that way everything can look more blended, not only right here in the center, but also in the crease area. And I also kind of take it right over the black just a little bit, because since the black is so pigmented, you're honestly not gonna lose any of that pigment. Like, it's still gonna show up as a dark smoky color, but it's not gonna take away from it. So I just lightly buff it on top of the black, and then still go into the crease just to kind of blend everything in, and then lightly take it up towards my brow bone like that. So that just really smokes out the entire look. All right, I tend to cut these parts out, but I'm gonna walk through what I do next, since I always cut this part out in my tutorials. But I went ahead and lined my waterline with the black eyeliner. This is the Joa Beauty Make Her Jealous liner in the shade Black. So I lightly line my waterline with that. And the next thing I like to do is smoke it out. So I'll take a little bit of the eyeshadow. So right now I'm dipping into Cypress Umber, which is a dark chocolate. I was gonna dip it into black, but since we already applied like a black liner, I didn't want to make it too harsh. So dipping into Cypress Umber, which is, it's dark, but it's not too dark. And I'm taking a pencil shader brush. This is the Sephora Pro Precision Smudge Brush, the number 29. And this is where I just smudge it out. So I pretty much touch the eyeliner that I applied just to kind of smoke it out with that shadow like this. And I always cut these parts out because my eyes water like crazy. But yeah, if you guys watch my vlog that I uploaded 2 weeks ago, is where I'm getting ready, watching YouTubers. That first part of the vlog is pretty much everything that I don't show in my tutorials. So it's so raw, it's not edited. So you guys can see me apply my lashes, you can see me apply my eyeliner, you can see me apply where I'm blending out my eyeliner. So all of that you can definitely watch if you want to watch that vlog. I'm gonna have it down below in the description if you guys want to check it out. And then of course this is how it looks with my lashes on. But yes, this is my go-to soft smoky eye, and I feel like it just goes with everything, you guys. Like, you can wear it in the daytime, you can wear it at nighttime, but I just feel like this specific look goes with everything. Very soft, very subtle, and it's just a good everyday smoky eye. All right, so this next look is gonna be another smoky look, but this is gonna be more intense. So if you're wanting a very dark smoky eye, but you don't want to use black, go for the deepest shade in your neutral palette. So today we're going to be working with Cypress Umber. So the very first shade, I'm going to be using my Morphe M504 brush, and that shade is going to be Rustic. This is the same shade that we've been working with within the past 2 tutorials, I believe. But this is my favorite shade in the palette as like a crease color. Now you can go in and mix up the shades if you want, especially with the mattes. Say if you want to do Rustic and Sienna, these two mixed together are really pretty. Actually, let me just show you. Let me just do that. Instead of just sticking with Rustic, you guys already saw how it looks in the crease. We're just going to take both shades right here, Rustic and Sienna, and just mix them together. And I'm just gonna pop both of these shades in my crease. I'm gonna pop on one more layer, just going back into the palette and going back in with one more layer in the crease. And just doing it in circular motions like this and bringing it up towards the brow bone to just let it fade like that. Look how pretty that is. But yeah, now that they're both blended, I'm gonna take my Anastasia brush. I'm gonna take the fluffy side and I'm gonna go into the shade Mulberry. Have we used this shade yet? I don't think we've used this shade in my tutorials, but this is just a really, really dark burgundy. So I'm gonna take the fluffy side of my brush. You can take a smaller brush with this, and I'm gonna put this in the crease as well. I'm not gonna focus most of this shade up. I'm just gonna focus it more so in the crease. Like this. All right, so now we can go ahead and dip into Cypress Umber, and I'm gonna take the Anastasia brush on the other side. This is just more of a dense, flat brush. So this is where I'm just gonna take some of that shadow and I'm gonna pack it all over the lid like this. See how dark that is? Like, you don't always have to have a black shadow to make a smoky eye. Like, if you have something really, really dark in your palette, like a dark brown or even the reds, like if you're more into burgundy shades or like plum shades, if you have a really, really dark one in the palette, you can do that. Also, say if you're more into color, a navy blue would be pretty. A really dark forest green would be pretty. So smoky eyes doesn't always mean black eyeshadow. But yeah, this is how it looks. And again, you can definitely use whatever shade you want for the very last shade that we use all over the lid. So it's all up to you, but this is just one of my personal favorites if it's not using a black shadow. So we finally made it to the very last tutorial, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did not plan this one out like I did my other four. My other four, I wrote everything down. I already knew what I was gonna create, but this one, we are just gonna be winging it. So looking at the palette, the only matte shades we have not dipped into is gonna be Dusty Rose, also Tempera, and Orange Soda. So these three right there. I think Dusty Rose will be really pretty with Rose Pink. And this might be like a good Valentine's Day look, but I'm gonna keep it simple. Just know that I'm gonna keep it simple. So dipping into Dusty Rose, we're gonna take my Morphe M504. And this is gonna be, yeah, y'all can tell I did not plan this one out. Let's see. I'm gonna dip this on my lid. Not dip, but place it on my lid like this. We're just gonna place it all over my lid like that. And also kind of blend it in the crease too. So this way you guys can see how this color looks on me. I don't think I said it before in this video, but I don't use eyeshadow primer. The primer, well, what I use on my eyes is concealer, and then I set the concealer with setting powder. But I never really use eyeshadow primer because I feel like concealer acts just as good as a primer, and I never really have any issues with doing it that way. But yes, look how pretty and soft this looks. You can actually stop right here, put on your mascara, put on your lashes, and you will be good to go, just like the very first look that I showed you. So that one shadow look, you will be good to go just like this. Pop on some lashes or some good mascara and you're good, girl. All right, so now that we have Dusty Rose all over the lids, you guys see how pretty that is? It's just so pretty by itself, but y'all know I'm trying to do something a little bit different for this look. So I'm gonna dip into Rose Pink right here since we haven't used this one. We haven't used this shade yet either. And I'm gonna use my finger for this, kind of like we did with that second look. And I'm just gonna tap it all over my lid. Like that. Then I'm going to take the Morphe brush again and dip back into Dusty Rose. And we're going to take this into the crease just to build that color up a little bit more. Okay, so you can definitely stop here and be done. But this next step is going to be for those of you who like to highlight your brow bone. So I'm going to dip into Glistening, this color right here, and I'm keeping with the same brush, which is the Morphe M504. I'm going to lightly tap my brush in it, like very, very light. Tap it off, and then take it right here where my arch is and just lightly brush it right there, just to kind of give it more of a highlight, more of a pop. Do y'all see that? Just brush it lightly right there. Now, if you want more, you can definitely go in with a little bit more. I'm going to go in with one more little swatch just to give me more of a shine, like that. And if you really want to amp the look up even more, you can go back into that same shade or whatever shade you choose. I'm just choosing Glistening. You can go in with Fairy, or you can go in with Bronze. Bronze is just more glitterier. That is not even a word, but it's more loose than these two shades right here. But I'm going in with Glistening using this pencil shader brush, and this is one of the brushes from my brush set. So I'm going to take just a little bit of this and just go right here on the inner corner and just place it right there, like that, just to give it more of a pop, more of a glow right in that socket. And then of course, this is how it looks once we apply our lashes. And I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but you don't have to wear lashes. If you just want to apply your mascara, you're good to go. But y'all know me, I like to apply my lashes because it definitely makes the look pop. But yes, girl, that is all that I have for today's video. I really hope it helped you guys. This was the most fun I've ever had with doing a tutorial on my channel, because I was creating different looks using one palette instead of dipping into another palette or just sharing other palettes. Like, this just goes to show you don't have to go out and buy all of these different palettes just to create a certain look. So yes, I really hope it was helpful, you guys. But that is all that I have. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed filming it. Let me know by giving it a huge thumbs up. By the way, I am doing my monthly giveaways every single month this year. So every month I give away one box to one person, and it's super easy to enter. All you have to do is make sure that you are already subscribed to my channel. Make sure you thumbs up this video, as well as leave a comment down below in the comment section. And I don't want the comments to be anything about the giveaway. Let's talk about this well, not this palette, but let's talk about your favorite neutral palette. What is your go-to everyday eyeshadow palette? And even if it's soft glam, or even if it's drugstore, whatever is your go-to favorite neutral eyeshadow palette, I want to know. So that is all, you guys. That is all that I have. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you thumbs it up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.